and all the students, everyone present here. We'll be shortly starting with the event within 2-3 minutes. We'll be waiting for few speakers to join in. So just more couple of minutes.
I hope everyone is able to hear us. Zoom chat, please can you just, reply everyone? Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
Hi Sumit, hi Bhavita, hi Hitesh. Okay. Energy looks outstanding. Thank you so much. Radhika,
And
Tanu.
meanwhile, if anyone have any questions, you can put your questions in Q&A.
Yeah, we started already getting questions.
Yeah, so we have already 2 questions.
Anil, Ranga is yet to join, right?
Yeah,
Ranga.
that is coordinating.
Zaki, could you please reach out to Mr. Rangarajan because he's having difficulty in logging in. He's saying his audio and video is not getting activated. Could you please reach out to him?
Sure. I will just call him right now. Okay.
Yeah, he's been waiting for some time and just now came to know about this. Thank you. I hope you have his number.
There in the group, I will just take the number from there.
Sure. Perfect. Makes sense. Thank you. And you were saying something. Sorry, I missed it.
Okay, sure. I will just call him. Yeah.
Sure. No worries. I think Shripal was saying something. Did I miss anything, Shripal? I was on a call.
No.
Thank you.
I can see it. Adil is student of.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of good evening from participants. Hi, good evening, everyone.
So I think we have couple of minutes, Richa, if we can play any video or something like that so that participants while joining, I'll just. Okay.
Talks. Today we are here at the Evolution of Accounting 2.0 conference, jointly conducted by Simandhar Education and Becker.
Qualification is not limited to the qualification. It's just that with qualification, people become more confident and all. So this is how it is. This is how we are transforming.
Once you become aware of the fact that you think you have an issue, then recognize the loss.
If you're not in accounting, try to get it.
It's about efficiency. 17 people getting together and trying to think about
whatever people say. Listen, take it easy.
All the talk in the world is about technology, not about science.
We meet at
Accounting Evolution 3.0 and let me know how that benefited you. This conference have given them everything what they wanted actually.
Technology has
I think, Richa, we can start. I guess we are at 6:45.
I think Renka is also joined. Hi,
Yeah,
Renka.
and Sandhya is just joining. I think she's not having the link Zaki is just sending the link.
Link already sent yesterday. She confirmed.
Yeah, she's having some issues in the Outlook, so Zaki is sending her separately.
Yeah, thank you. Mr. Venkarajan, do you like to check your audio and video?
Good evening, Mr. Rangarajan. Welcome to the session. Could you please turn on your video and audio? Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Yes,
we can hear you. Could you please switch on your video as well, sir, if you don't mind?
Just one moment. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it is working well. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Richard, let's start. Then once Sandhya joins, she can be part of it as well. And Ashish, you will be able to manage. Yeah, thank you.
Richa, you're on a mute.
You're on mute.
Yeah. So a very good evening to all the respected chief guests, students, and everyone present here. I'm Richa Tharan, a student of Simandhar Education, working with Accenture as finance specialist. I would like to welcome you all to one of the biggest financial events hosted by Simandhar Education in association with their business partners, IMA, Institute of Management Accountants, and Becker Professional Education. IMA is one of the largest and most respected associations focused exclusively on advancing the management accounting professions globally. IMA supports the profession through research, the CMA, Certified Management Accountant, and CASCA, Certified in Strategy and Competitive Analysis Program. IMA has a global network of about 140,000 members in 150 countries and more than 350 professionals and student chapters. Now, a brief introduction about Simandhar. Simandhar Education is formed with a vision to upskill students and professionals. We are exclusive training partner with EY, Infosys, BDO, RISE, and are also tied up with Deloitte, Invesco, American Insurance Group, Citron Cooperman, Synchrony Financials. We got recently tied up with Infosys, BDO, RISE, Electronic Arts, US biggest video gaming company, and World Bank. Simandhar is tied up with Becker Professional Education, leading education provider for CPA and CMA in US. Few of Simandhar partnership, which includes Big Four and MNC sponsors, their professional to become CPA and CMAs at Simandhar. So before moving forward, I would request you all to observe 1 minute silence in remembrance of our lost friend and CMA student Venkat Naveen Chakilam due to COVID. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone. Now I would like. Okay. Now I would like to invite our co-founder, Mr. Shreepal Jain, a leading edupreneur who was featured in Times of India, is also a part of content and editorial team of US CMA for Becker Professional Education, to tell us more about the event. Shreepal sir.
Yeah, first of all, thank you so much, Richa. I know suddenly it has become so serious. So all the serious faces there, and it's a big loss for us at Simandhar with Venkat going out. But this is how life goes, and I think every day counts. And today's session, we would make every effort to make it more beautiful and to make the professionals understand the immensity of the finance profession. As you know, the finance profession have went into several things, like we had data analytics, artificial intelligence, a lot of the future of the finance. A lot of the students are having questions whether their jobs will be there or not. I'm so happy that we have such big leaders today. Amrita, Jay, Priya, Ranga, uh, Aziz from Beckers. So I'm really happy that today's session would give an insights to our students and professionals to talk about and to understand the finance function. To be honest, I did share on LinkedIn. So when I started my finance profile 11 years back at Infosys, I didn't even know what is a structure, how the organization is there. And today also many students don't know how the finance structure is composed of. We have corporate finance, we have business finance, we have corporate accounting group, then we have so many verticals, sub verticals. At an FP&A level, it is very important to understand the structure first. And then after understanding the structure, one needs to understand how the reporting plays around with technology today. And I think today's session will give them everything what they want to know, and various questions which they have uh, uh, on the jobs, on the opportunities in the future and all. Please put up in the Q&A window. I think we'll be more than glad to take up those questions. Thank you so much to our rich panelists, Priya, Jay, Amrita, Ranga, Lata, Fenel, Aziz, Pranesh, Adil, and Hema also have joined us, Sandhya also. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks a lot again. And over to you, Richa. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for this. So yeah, so moving forward, today our audiences not just have an opportunity to listen to our respected leaders, but also have an opportunity to win an exciting prize, which is an iPad, sponsored by Simandhar Education and Becker Professional Education. Isn't it exciting, everyone? So maybe some responses in the chat box. Are you guys excited to win an iPad? Great.
Now I think the energy levels have gone up tremendously, Richa.
Right.
So Richa, is it only for the students or we
can
stand a chance?
Participate in it or no?
Aziz will have to Aziz, you have to give an answer. Is it open for panelists as well?
I already asked that question there.
With everyone at home on being on laptop and iPads as a demand.
You should open it for
like,
us also.
Okay.
Yes. Yes. That's a good one, Bala.
Okay, so let me explain the rules to you all. The rules are very simple. I'll be asking 9 MCQs in the set of 3 questions after each segment. One who answers all the 9 questions correctly and in the least time will be the winner. So you all have to be with us till end to be the winner of this. Yeah. So I'll start with the time you'll be getting 10 seconds to answer, and you have to put your answer in Q&A section. Please don't answer in a chat box. It is difficult to manage the chat box. Please put your answers in Q&A. Thank you. Okay, so the first question is, the modeling technique that should be used in a complex situation involving uncertainty is. The options are these. First, expected value analysis.
Richa, panel can also participate.
No, I think panel cannot participate, otherwise student will not get a chance.
Yeah, okay. Can I? So exciting.
Guys, please put up in the Q&A window. We will not be able to accept anything in the Zoom chat.
Yeah. Okay, I think time's up. The answer for this question is Monte Carlo simulation. The next question is, which one of the following item is least likely to directly impact an equipment replacement capital expenditure decision? Options are the net present value of the equipment that is being replaced, the second, depreciation rate that will be used for tax purpose on the new asset, third, the amount of additional accounts receivable that will be generated from increased production and sales, fourth, the sale value of the asset that is being replaced. Okay, I think the time's up. Anyone from the panelists wants to give the answer? Now you are allowed to answer.
Well, all I can say is that I'm glad I'm not a student. It's quite scary.
Okay. Okay. Just a minute. The answer to this is the net present value of the equipment that is being replaced. The third question is, dividend paid to company shareholder would be shown on the statement of cash flows as first, operating cash inflows, operating cash outflows, cash flow from investing activities, and the fourth one is cash flow from financing activities.
Come on, guys, this looks easy, so
Yeah.
we should have a lot of answers.
And this is the last question for this segment, so please do answer.
Okay, so the answers have bursted out like anything.
Yeah.
Not in stock market, right? It's just goes on and on and on.
Everyone is fighting for the iPad. Okay, guys, the time is up, and the answer for this is cash flow from financing activities. Okay. Thank you so much. The next, please.
We'll analyze in the Q&A chat, guys. I have seen some answers with explanations also. And I think that really counts. So please ensure that we'll have additional points for that. It's just not about answering right, but it's about answering with explanations also, which Richard didn't tell you upfront. So that is something which you were expected to explain. It's just not about telling A, B, C, D, because many of them can guess and get it right. So who all have explained that answer also might get some additional points for that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shifa?
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yep. Starting with our next segment. Today we have a panelist. Today as a panelist we have Priya Krishnadarsan from Electronic Arts, Rangarajan Sheshadri from Sundaram Clayton Limited, Sandhya Sharma from Schindler, Jayavardhan Semwal from HP, Amrita Shrikant from Infosys, Fenil Bekardin from IMA, Ahmed Makhalti from IMA, Aziz Tayabi from Becker Professional Education, and Shripal Jain from Simandhar Education. Before moving forward, we would like to congratulate Amrita ma'am for her promotion from AVP to VP. Many congratulations, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations, Amrita.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Aziz Tayabi, the Director International Becker Professional Education, to take the event further. Aziz.
Many thanks, Richa.
Thank you. Yep.
Thanks for a wonderful introduction and quiz. I've got to say, thank God Mr. Shripal Jain is not examining the CMA exam. He's a very harsh marker. Anyway, wonderful. I'm so glad that we're all here very late in the evening. So thanks everyone for taking the time out from your very busy schedules. Really appreciate it. I hope all you and your families are all in good health, keeping positive in these very strange times. Personally, very delighted and honored to be here as part of this great event. Over 200 people. Awesome effort from everyone involved in terms of putting this event together, coordinating with so many different organizations and people. It looks great, exciting. I'm very excited, I must say. Big thank you to you in particular, everyone who's attending this. You're going to get a great a great deal out of today's event, no doubt about it. We've got some great distinguished panelists here across the breadth and depth of finance industry in India. So make the most of today's session, ask all those questions that are on your mind, because you've got an opportunity to get some great answers. And especially, this is about you. This event is about you, the audience here, and really getting to feel an understanding of your future careers. And you've got people who have had immensely successful careers. And I'm glad to be kind of participating in this event in this small way. I must also say that the panel, the group that we've got here together is a great representation of the international nature of the CMA qualification. Great global flavor to our panelists. We've got, Mr. Mahalati based in Dubai, Middle East. We've got our expert panelists across India. We've got the founder and driving force of Simandhar Education in the US at the moment, and myself based from my little home office in London. So that truly represents the CMA qualification and the global nature and the global potential for everyone on this, everyone in this session today. And just a little bit of a reminder of today's theme. There was an article about 18 months ago, 2 years ago, by the CEO of the IMA, Mr. Jeff Thompson, in Forbes magazine. I'm sure you all know that magazine, very world famous. And that was about, the future of management, accountants and accounting. And you, the people in this session today, are the future of management accounting, the finance profession. And really, but some of those themes that came out of that article, and which is now driving forward what the CMA qualification looks like, things like, technology, data analytics, how is that going to be part and parcel of the future of accounting, decision-making and strategy, global operation, working in a global operation, a global environment. And really, this is it. The point of the CMA qualification and how it's evolved over many years, especially recently, is that you are going to be fit for the finance profession for the 21st century. And that is something which I think you're very fortunate, that, we're able to talk about these type of qualifications and your careers, because there's going to be a lot of change. And I think this will help build your careers, build your confidence to propel your careers. Anyway, let me talk to you a little about, without much further ado, let me just a very brief introduction. I couldn't possibly do justice to the pedigree and the expertise that we have on this panel in just a few minutes. So please understand this is a very, very short introduction and brief to the panelists, and it's in no particular order. So let me start with Ms. Priya Krishnadas, Director of Finance at EA, based in Hyderabad. Priya's role as head of, basically the director of the finance team, is very much looking at efficiencies, looking at opportunities for the finance and accounting team, standardization, automation, and of course the reporting side of things. Over 20 years of experience, accounting, auditing, finance, having worked for various organizations, R.R. Donnelley, Financial Services there, PwC India and in Singapore. Priya is a chartered accountant and a cost and management accountant from India, as well as a US certified CPA. So, Ms. Priya, thank you so much for being here today. We're really looking forward to your thoughts today.
Thank you, Aziz.
And then we have Mr. 𝐂𝐝𝐻𝐿𝐦𝐚𝐺𝐻 J. I'm going to refer to Vice President, Corporate Finance and Accounting at Hewlett-Packard, based out of Bangalore. Jay's taken on that role, I believe, it's been about 2 years now, 3 years, May 2018, having worked at various business functions across HP for the last 14, 15 years, ranging from supply chain, revenue, expense management, reporting and analytics. So again, really great to have your experience here, Jay. I think it's going to be some great insights, especially, with that breadth of experience you have. Interestingly, I must say this, despite being a engineering background, Jay is also a qualified CMA. So Jay is living the dream that everyone here is going to be aspiring to over the next year or two. Jay, thanks again for being here. Appreciate it.
Hey, thank you, Ajit, for having me here. Thank you.
And then we have Miss Sandhya Sharma, CFO, Chief Financial Officer for the India and Middle East operations of Schindler. Ms. Sandhya is again a chartered accountant, over 20 years of experience she's bringing for us here today. The last 10 years have been as an integral part of the finance function, supply chain management, those type of things, managing different geographical operations for Schindler. The last 2 years, she's been the CFO for the India and the Middle East business. Prior to Schindler, Sandhya was with Mahindra & Mahindra for nearly a decade as well, across the accounting and internal audit areas of that huge business. So again, Sandhya, thanks so much for sparing your time here as well today.
Aziz, Sandhya have just dropped out due to poor network connection. She's joining it in a couple of minutes.
Absolutely, no, that's great. Well, anyway, look, we're all going to benefit from Ms. Sandhya's experience throughout this session today. Mr. Rangarajan Sheshadri, Vice President, Internal Audit and Risk Management with Sundaram Clayton Limited. Again, Ranga, I'll refer to you as Ranga today, if you don't mind. Again, a leader in the fields of risk management, governance, internal controls, and internal audit. And Ranga's been honing that experience and knowledge through a career spanning over 3 decades, included various roles with the TVS Group for the last 15 years, as well as organizations of the likes of PwC, where he was part of the Global Risk Management Solutions team. And again, Ranga, like many others on this panel today, qualified chartered accountant, as well as having a series of other domain-specific credentials in insurance, anti-fraud, etc. Ranga, thanks so much again for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Looking forward.
Absolutely, likewise. And finally, in terms of the panelists today, but by no means the least, Miss Amrita Shrikant, Head Corporate Finance, Technical Accounting at Infosys. And Amrita started her career with Deloitte in the assurance team, where she was there for nearly 10 years. And she's been at Infosys since then, since joining, and she joined there in 2012. Currently, she heads the technical accounting and revenue assurance group at Infosys. So again, really, the deep financial reporting, accounting, looking after group reporting, compliance, both for the US and India, as well as other geographies within the group as well. So great experience from Amrita's side. Again, Amrita is also qualified chartered accountant by profession and also holds a diploma in business management. Amrita, delighted you're here. And
sorry, I had some issues unmuting myself. Thank you so much.
No, absolutely. Don't worry. And I will, as I said, there are a number of other panelists, which from the IMA team and from obviously Simandhar, I think Mr. Shripal Jain, many people know already as the co-founder of Simandhar, a great source of pride for Becker as one of our highest quality partners, not only in India, but across the globe. We're very honored and privileged to work with an organization like Simandhar, of course, Mr. Shripal Jain and the team, the driving force behind that. And, this event is down to, their creative expertise and hard work. So we should all be very fortunate. We're all very fortunate that, they put that effort in today. And the IMA team, again, very briefly, we have Pranesh, Fennel, who look after the India operations, and Mr. Ahmed Makhalati, the Director of Strategic Partnerships at the IMA, based in Dubai, as I mentioned. Been involved with the CMA qualification for nearly 20 years. One, helping people to become qualified CMAs in the Middle East with one of the largest training institutes there, and now, of course, for the last 6-7 years with the IMA itself. And I don't know if it's a coincidence, Ahmed and Pranesh and Fennel and Lata, of course, you know, the time that you've been with the IMA probably represents the time when they've grown so well, certainly in this region and in India in particular, where it's been such unprecedented growth. I am 99% sure it is down to your efforts. So we're glad that you're here as well. Okay, that took me a little bit longer than I'd hoped, but we're going to move on to the questions now. As I said, you know, that theme is about the future of the accounting profession, in particular, you know, the role that management accountants that you all are going to be playing over the next 5-10 years as you become CMAs, I'm sure, or you know, great finance professions. So without much ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask a little bit of an opening question just to get everyone warmed up, especially the panelists. I would just request a minute each from everyone in terms of, well, you know, it has been a year that we're never going to forget, you know, good, bad, or ugly. It is something that we've all kind of experienced in many different ways and learned so much from it. You know, I've been amazed how people have adapted so positively despite all the stresses and all of those things. So it's been a not great year, but it's been a phenomenal year, let's say. I'd love to kind of hear just from everyone. I think we'd all love to hear from the panelists, you know, from each of you, you know, what is the single biggest challenge that you and your F&A teams have faced in the last year? And how are you looking, or have you looked to kind of overcome them? You can start any way you like. Anyone feel free to kind of enter, but, you know, one thought from each of the panelists. If we don't get any volunteers, I'll volunteer.
Sure, Aziz, I'll go ahead first. So, good day, IMA, Becker, Simandhar. Excited to see all of you, but most importantly, I'm excited to see all of you students, because you are the future of finance. So, you know, a big hello to all of you. In terms of the biggest single challenge that we all faced this year, I mean, I would with conviction say it's been the collaboration with teams that I have missed, you know, a lot in the last 1 year. And why I would say that is, I mean, imagine an office day, you know, prior to this COVID situation. If I needed something from my team, I would just go to the next cubicle, tap on that glass and say, hey, I need this. And you could have imagined boardrooms and conferences room with no chairs because people were all around and brainstorming on an idea. And you would just turn your chair around and ask a colleague for help. All that got changed in a day's time, right? And work from home was just for the IT sector. I mean, we in finance hardly would have imagined work from home. But, you know, the COVID changed everything. And, you know, we are still finding out ways to remotely work from home. But I would definitely say this 1 year has taught us many things, and we have overcome it with, you know, a lot of tools and technology available in the market, something like a Slack or a Zoom or a Miro, which is a whiteboarding tool, or even the Google Drive, right? There are so many collaboration tools available that's made work easy for all of us. So we are still navigating these changes, but I'm sure we will face a better day soon. So that's it from me.
Perfect. Thanks so much, Priya. I think everyone probably feels a little bit of that for sure. Anyone else? Next.
I can go next.
Please.
So thanks, Priya. That was something which you touched to the core. And good day to all my friends here, dear students. I think, Priya, you forgot to mention about the chais and the lunches and the lunch breaks, which are all now virtual. So everybody is sitting with a virtual teacup and a virtual coffee cup. Doesn't taste or feel like a face-to-face, but nevertheless, I think that's what we've got accustomed to now. So no doubt, last year was very challenging to all of us. There were initial teething issues on enabling technology, getting infrastructure into place. Everything was hurried. But the biggest challenge which we faced, or rather what we are facing now, is the burnout that we are seeing in our employees, especially in the finance folk. So work from home or work home, everything has got blurred now. So it's very difficult for people to shut down. And even if they physically shut down, the mental, the mental stress or the mental tension is continuously going on. This is something which we have seen prevalent to a very, very large scale today. And for this, there have been various measures. Of course, I think all corporates have, along with their HR friends, have started a series of measures. Maybe, it's yoga, meditation, numerous health initiatives. But that's where the focus is now actually moved on to. So we are trying now also to see whether there is a possibility to have teams come together virtually, of course, have some fun day, a fun hour in a week or in a month, and where we try to play online games with people together. And above all, everything else, the only way we can actually build a connect is to continuously talk to people, continuously share what they are going through, trying to help them, especially when people went through very, very rough patches in the last few months.
Thank you, Priya. Amrita, thanks so much for that. And I think that probably echoes with all of us, that little time in the chai corner, lunch with the colleagues, it makes a big difference. And I think we all miss it dearly. Gentlemen, anyone else from the panel? Any thoughts on this? Briefly, before we move on to the core questions. No problem if not, we can move on to the core questions. Let's move on to the, sorry, was someone going to say something?
No, Sandhya here, and
Hi, Sandhya.
good day to all. Sorry, there's a network problem and the electricity outage today, so a bit difficult to connect through laptop, so I'm connecting through phone. I would like to say that for everyone, whatever we are feeling, it's more mental, and there's some echo, sorry, not able. Yeah, so I would say the time is for all of us to introspect ourselves more. As they say that when you can't go inside, outside, you go inside. So that's, I would say, a solution to many of our problems, if not all. Just to add my perspective on this. Thanks.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Sandhya. I mean, we'll move on to the main questions. I think the biggest learning point that I've had is to remember to unmute on a video call.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
if I could add to mine after what Priya and Amrita had said, if at all we have all had the liberty and right and the power, we would all like to write off or forget the years of 2020 and a half of 2021 as well from the entire career of ours, so that we always don't take the backlog of the past bad things that have happened to us and look forward to the future. Having said that, the COVID has really come out and given us a lot of opportunities to recreate ourselves and rekindle the brain in us to work more effectively and more productively, while not looking at each other. We have been working at ghosts, people who are not existing but still performing and delivering. And thanks to the IT tools that are really come in very handy at the right point of time. In fact, one of the few industries that have grown biggest in the last year and a half would be the IT, both in terms of the hardware and also the ones that have been able to connect people across. And I wish that we come through this Corona era and we look forward to a very bright future and be able to see people and get along with the chai time and the lunch time and also the tapping the door and looking at the person and talking to him. Yeah, that's it.
You're here.
Thanks.
Yeah. Soon, I'm sure. Okay, Jay, was there anything you wanted to say, or obviously, we've got some more questions anyway. So
no, I think these all my fellow panel members have shared very, very apt and right thoughts. I agree with all of them. Thank you.
Brilliant. Thank you all. Really appreciate it. That's kind of set the scene a little bit. So let me move on to a few of the specific questions that we had for the panelists. Jay, I will start with you. In fact,
Sure.
I think as I talked about earlier, some of those, and we've mentioned the importance of technology, right? And I think clearly over the next few years, that technology and the importance of technology in our profession is going to become even more and more. The ability to mine and analyze vast amounts of big data, touch of a button, and have the information that us as accounting professionals need to produce on tap. Where do you believe management accountants are going to be adding value across businesses when so much is going to be automated?
Yeah, I think Ajay is very pertinent and relevant question. In fact, the same question got asked to me maybe 2 years back, because you touched upon the COVID-19 subject. And I think many of my fellow panel members touched upon that. More specifically, Ranga spoke about the role that technology is playing, right? So my thought process 2 years back was technology is only going to change the way we are doing bookkeeping, the way we are doing finance and accounting. And I always had a belief that technology will have a huge role to play. Now, what I have seen in the last year and a half is COVID-19 is only going to add further thrust to whatever we are going to do from a technology perspective. I think more and more things will get automated, because the entire automation technique, engine, and the capability that we have got is becoming very advanced, right? We are living in the era of artificial intelligence becoming a reality. Right? When I started my job 25 years back, I used to do general voucher on a piece of paper, right? At that point of time, did I imagine that we will have something like artificial intelligence that in finance and accounting? So that's a reality, right? That's a reality. And what is happening with this is data is becoming very, very real time. I think if you ask me, we look at our financial reports on a quarterly basis, semi-annual, annual basis. Why? Primarily because of the limitation that we have got from a technology perspective. As technology is making data available to us that much fast, the expectations that we have or our business partners have from, let's say, finance and accounting folks is changing. The expectations are also becoming real time. As we speak, you live in UK, you will know it better than me. Many of the European countries have already gone to real-time tax reporting. And real-time tax reporting, whenever you have to do your, say, let's VAT reporting, we're talking about humongous amount of data on a real-time basis. So what is going to happen is the tools that we have been using in the past, for example, all of us as a finance and accounting profession learned Excel, some of us learned SQL. Some of those tools are going to change. I think you touched upon the Jeff Thompson's talk right around data analytics or big data. That will come into the play. I think technology will make data very available. And that is where I think the role of a management accountant will become even more powerful. Because when data is becoming available, when we have got more data, the expectation that any business partner will have from us, or let's say a sales guy will have from us, because in the end, we are in the business of earning profits here, right? Being a enterprise, will be to provide better business insights. So I always believed that is where a management accounting profession or management accounting mindset varies from a normal traditional financial accounting mindset, because financial accounting mindset is always about rule based, right? We got to adhere to any kind of GAAP. You can follow UK GAAP, US GAAP, IFRS, provide those reports and ensure that we are true, fair, and just. The management accounting concept is all about scenario building. It is all about providing those alternatives to our business partner, because we are not living in a perfect world. I think if anyone was thinking that we are living in a perfect world, year and a half of COVID-19 would have already shattered that, right? We are not living in a perfect world. The world is changing fast. And I think the pace of change will only increase. And that is where the entire capability of being able to look at data more from a holistic perspective, being able to provide certain options and alternatives to our business partners so that they know, hey, this can be my best case scenario, this can be my worst case scenario, because all of us, I hope all of my CFO colleagues would agree here, we have done the entire planning last year. We have planned for the best scenario, and best scenario came true. I think we had a quarter in HPE that has been one of our worst quarter in the history of the company, because that was the quarter when COVID-19 suddenly emerged. And then we evolved from there. So the entire power of scenario analysis, the analytics that financial account or that management accounting can provide, I think is going to become more and more relevant in the post-COVID-19 world. So these are my high-level thoughts. It's a very broad and wide question that you asked me, Ajit. I think we can have workshop on that topic, but this is my very high-level thought at this point of time. Thank you. Very good question. Thanks.
Jay, you have just set the next session up.
Sure.
Next month, the workshop on that. But just one last thought, and please, any other panelists, please do drop into this question as well. But is there, based on what you've just described there, is there anything specific that HP are doing themselves in terms of their own finance function? I know that you've got a great internship program on the CMA side. Is that something that you're doing for this very reason, to get people who are upskilled on these new areas, on the new skill sets and tools that are going to enable you to perform as a business?
Yeah, so I think, Ajit, being a technology company, sometimes that comes as an advantage, right? Because even the finance and accounting folks are very close to the technology. So for example, in our finance and accounting shop, RPA and artificial intelligence is already a reality, right? Big data is already a reality. So at this point of time, being the finance leader of this broad finance and accounting team, my sole objective is how can we upskill? Because future is going to require very different kind of a skill set that we have had in the past, right? We all will have to evolve, and I think we have to evolve faster for the profession and for all of us to be relevant. So we do invest a lot into upskilling our finance and accounting team, and the upskilling can be technical upskilling. If people are interested, they can learn more big data techniques, more big data skills, but also can be business partnering software skills. Because in my plain mind, that entire business partnering, because I believe maybe 5 to 6 years from now, every finance and accounting guy will have to become a good salesperson. Because in the end, we got to enable our business win in the marketplace. But more importantly, we have to enable our business win in the marketplace the right way. Trust me, guys, after COVID-19, the entire thought process of the right way, the sustainability accounting is again going to get more thrust. And that is where, again, one more area where the accountant is going to play a huge role. So I think we have a great opportunity in front of us. While we have had a devastating year, I would say, but that year also has given us a great opportunity, which all of us should look forward to. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've been writing notes. I hope everyone else has been writing notes as well for their thoughts on their careers and stuff. Jay, thank you so much. I'm going to move on to the second question. Just I'm doing this more because I'm conscious of time. Miss Sandhya, thanks for your opening thoughts, really helpful. But another area, I guess, in terms of management accounting of the future, and I'm sure by now people have got away from thinking that accounting is bookkeeping and cost and works accounting. But I think, there's still that little bit of a hangover of the past there, even though that we now know how critical management accountants are for decision-making and strategy. And, no one better as the CFO of an organization as large as Schindler. It would be great to get your thoughts in terms of, how, in that time, just in your time at Schindler, how the finance function has evolved, and how you think it's going to evolve in the next, 4 to 5 years. Any particular thoughts on that, especially around, the skills, again, as Jay mentioned, some of the skills and credentials that are important to you as leader of that finance function, and any particular skill gaps that you feel need to be kind of scaled up to enhance the team.
Thanks for asking that question. It's very close to my heart. And let me put it this way, when I started as a business controller 10 years back in Schindler, it was only basic business reporting, okay? And it was very minimal requirement from the business as well. I wouldn't say their expectation was very huge. They expected that they get a profit and loss account at the end of the month. They get their sales numbers and KPI numbers published at the end of the month. And they know that where against budget do we stand. I think so that was just the requirement from all business guys, nothing more. If I see now, 10 years later, they want real-time data on everything. And now they compare me with how can Swiggy give everything? How can Amazon give everything? How can I not know that when my elevator material started from factory and when it will reach? Why cannot I see the geotagging of where my employee is? I being CFO and responsible for IT as well, I have to face this question every day. What are the tools that I have? One, definitely I would suggest, and this has helped me, is connecting to the customer. Somewhere we can't stay in the financial world and practically like old times sit in the ivory tower and tell that you should do this or this is right. I think so. First ground rule is for any person, and I liked what the earlier panelist and Jay mentioned was that we have to be a kind of business person, good in negotiation, good in understanding how the business levers work, and be a spot for customer to understand the ground reality. So I think so that is one perspective which finance for me, I have seen myself as I was working 10 years earlier and the way I am working now. In terms of skill sets, I would say my whole strategy house for finance is not working on regular skill sets because bill passing or everything has moved to a shared service and we are creating one in India. So all those activities, we want efficacy over there, and those have been moved to BSc or shared service. What remains with the business is all niche areas like direct taxation, like all the legal matters, all the business decisions. And as mentioned, scenario planning is one which we now do practically every month. Okay, and I feel the era is now that I be a kind of, I complement the business guys rather than acting that as I finance, I am not responsible for these things. So I would say being CFO, I am responsible for everything because be it quality, be it safety, because everything has a footstep in finance. So I am involved everywhere and I cannot tell in any role that, okay, this is not a finance domain now. So I would say this is a major change. And in terms of skill sets required, definitely as a leader, it is my responsibility that I develop those skill sets in my people. So we are having coaching programs, mentors, buddies, discussing with other industries, trying to work with other countries, how within Schindler, how they are working. But we are not losing a single people only so that we upgrade them in the new scenario and make them relevant all the time. But this is good feedback, and coming to a very basic HR thing is performance reviews have to be very honest. Many a times we do performance reviews in a very flimsy way in a corporate world. We try to please people and that never works. So I feel performance review is one tool which has helped me reach the goal that I want to with my strategy house. Thank you, Aziz.
And Sandhya, thanks so much for that. I'm going to bear that in mind because I have my performance review next week. So
yes,
maybe my manager might not be too honest. Anyway, but that's really, no, I love, I've been noticing some great points here. Many of them join to what Jay mentioned earlier, that business partnering and that responsibility that, the finance team now holds across the business as a whole. And therefore, again, the responsibility that's going to be the future of many of the participants on this call today. Is there any other quick thoughts on that particular question from anyone else on the panel? No, I mean, there's linkage across all these questions anyway, so I'm sure there will be overlap in terms of some of the thoughts and responses. Mr. Ranga, sir, in terms of your unique world, in many ways, internal audit and risk management, how important that is to that decision making that the likes of Sandhya, CFOs and their head of finance and directors need. A lot of it comes from you, that direction and decision making. And what's exciting is I think you yourself are thinking about the CMA qualification, but it'd be really good to kind of understand, those niche areas, and Sandhya mentioned niche, and I think that's going to be important for everyone to think about in their careers. Risk management, internal audit is a very strong, robust niche area which has got such a pivotal role over the coming years. How is the knowledge and tools with professional qualifications like the CMA, how can that equip the people in this today's session to excel in that particular area of risk management, internal audit, especially for large organizations like Sundaram?
Let me just start by giving a brief on the earlier financial accounting, which people used to do, which have now graduated into a management accounting role. Where financial accounting, very simply to say, is financial accounting is of the past and management accounting is of the future. Financial accountant, as I started my career, where Jay said that he used to start writing a journal voucher. Same is the case with me. We used to write historical events into a transaction and keep posting them into ledgers and drawing the trial balance and coming out, and then after some point of time declaring to the external world and to the internal stakeholders what the results of the organizations are. Now, I think gone are the days where we are talking about, as Sandhya said, we are talking about a real world situation. Nobody is wanting to wait, or the current dynamics of the world doesn't allow an organization to be waiting for results. So you have to have the results on a real-time basis. People talk about a flash, which you come out on a monthly reporting on the entire organization results, and the quarterly reporting, and the half-yearly and the annual reporting. And the regulations also have stepped up to regulating all the industries to have the financial statements getting reported on a quarterly basis. And when it comes to the risk management and to the internal audit, formalizing these into the regulations as well. So if you had spoken about internal audit 10 or 20 years back, that would not have been something which is so strong as it is today. The internal audits today encompasses not only the financial or the transactional or the proprietary, but on the entire stakeholders. It talks about the environmental reporting today, not about the financial reporting. It talks about the operations. When they talk about the controls, they don't talk about the controls or the financial reporting alone, but they talk about the controls that the enterprise is having today to have a comfort or to have an assurance that the organization's objectives are going to be met. And when you talk about risk management according to me is like breathing. If I forget to breathe maybe a couple of minutes, then I'm not there at all. So it is, if you are not going to be managing your risks, that means it's as good as saying that you are not going to be existing to face the world tomorrow, or to really look at what the competition is doing, or what the technologies, how the technologies are getting upgraded, and where you are going to be. So as somebody said, that change is something which is inevitable, whether you like it or not. So the prudent person is the one who anticipates the change and prepares and faces the change and wins over. So risk management and internal audit both is, while they are talking about the past events, looking at what the companies have done and how the companies are facing, they are projecting into the future to say how you have to modify yourself in terms of your thoughts, in terms of your actions, and how you are going to be ready for tomorrow. That's the perspective from me.
Wonderful. Thanks so much. And as I said, you know, that area of risk management, internal controls, you know, more and more those areas are so critical to any organization. And I'm sure many people, many of the participants on today's call are going to be ending up in that area. So knowing that kind of how pivotal that is, it's definitely an area to worth investing in, and it's a good career path for sure.
And when you talk about the management accountants, particularly, they are bothered about what the future is. They are the ones who are looking at the performance measurement as one of the very key ingredient and input to the organization in telling the organization as to how you have to modify yourself, what products you are supposed to do, which markets you are supposed to enter into, which customers you are supposed to be focusing on, and within the customer, which are the products that gives you better yield, better return, and which segments are going to make you more profitable. So while profit is something which is extremely key to be in the business, but people not only talk about profits, but they also talk about the ecosystem around the organization, how you take the entire ecosystem along with you, how we are going to make your customers profitable. When I talk about customers, you are talking about the distribution channel, and how you are going to have your very strong vendor base, which is going to support you, which is not going to let you down when the market really picks up. So unless the vendor base is quite strong, you won't be able to really get the right inputs and deliver the material to your customers. So it's the entire ecosystem that is very critical. And how you look at the cost. Without understanding the cost, you won't be able to do the pricing. And without the pricing, then you are out of the market. So all these things are really very critical, and the management accountants are quite poised to get into all these things.
Wonderful. That's a great message to leave that question with. I think, you know, that pivotal role that, as you described, management accountants play in the decision making of the business across the board.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of move on again in the interest of time. Ms. Amrita, you know, we talked about, you know, we mentioned about business internationalization, the global economy, and us as finance professionals, we're pivotal to it, and emphasis sits at the heart of globalization in so many ways, as we know. And I guess, you know, your particular role in terms of the corporate finance, heading that corporate finance, technical accounting, must be a great position to be able to feed into, you know, what's happening around the globe, interact with a lot of colleagues and those type of things. Again, I just want to pivot back to that point, which we've touched on in some of the other questions, is around, especially, you know, your team and the importance that you put in terms of upskilling it, and how you're able to utilize global professional qualifications like the CMA and those type of qualifications, which have more innovative curriculum and syllabus, to get the best out of your teams. You know, both from the internal reporting side, but also, I guess, emphasis. So you have clients and you want to be able to kind of, you know, deliver the best quality information and services to those clients. So I'd love to kind of get a good feel of, you know, what things that you're looking for from professional qualifications to help you service those internal reporting needs as well as your client needs.
Thank you, Aziz, for the question. As my panelists mentioned, right, today's accounting and finance world is changing drastically. What we knew 2 decades ago, the way we did accounting, the way and where we are now, there's a sea change of difference. And you can see this in every aspect of accounting, be it the regulatory space, the standard setters, or the technological developments. A finance professional has no choice but to keep reinventing themselves. And if you have to stay on top, or if you have to stay afloat, then that's the only option out. So it's very, very important that we ensure that we are updated with the relevant skills, which equips us to face this changing environment. In Infosys, what we do is, whether it is in the technical accounting or in the revenue assurance group, our endeavor has always been that we should be abreast of the changes. And by changes, it's not just India or US, as you rightly mentioned, these are the global changes. We could have a particular, subsidiary located somewhere in Latin America, and there could have been a legal change over there, which would have ramifications all across. Now, how do we ensure that we are up to date on this? It's not just focusing on our primary accounting, which is under IFRS. We also have to ensure that we understand all the other relevant gaps. And this just not because we are listed in the US or we have presence in any particular geography. It's very important that when we are analyzing a technical matter, or we are sort of analyzing or reading a complex contract, we look at it from all aspects, right? From ensuring what exactly was the thought process when we entered into that particular contract. What did we try to achieve when what was the intention of the business? What did business want to achieve when they entered into a particular transaction? And that is what the accounting has to reflect. Also, what is a very important change that has happened now over the last few years is that reporting is not just limited to historical performance. Gone are the days where we used to just report the balance sheet and the P&L and the cash flow. Now it's all about the story that we are telling to the investors. It's about the MD&A. It's about what the management, through the eyes of the management is what it's all about now. It's about the risk, the strategy. And this is where the management accountant comes in with their skill sets. These are the niche skills which a management accountant will bring to the table. And that's what we are looking for. And while we are a business enabling function, right? Any finance or an account professional is a business enabler, but we are the gatekeepers. But we must never forget that we should never reach an answer which is drastically different from the intent of the transaction. Our job as an accountant is to ensure that we reach the right answer. Of course, we should never compromise on our values, but we should also ensure that we enable the business to achieve what they are trying to do. This is the time to build new skills. This is exactly the time to build new skills. Invest in technology. Every student has to invest in learning a new technology, at the same time, upping their core technical knowledge. Today, technological skills have moved from RPA for invoices, Power BI for management dashboards. Everything is real time today. So a student needs to have both technical and technological skills. And by having technological skills, I don't mean just downloading reports, but really understanding how that report is generated, what is going beyond the report, who are the end users of this report, and what are they trying to achieve from this. That is extremely important now.
Thank you. That, and I really want to emphasize this to everybody who's on this call, that point about, those having, the niche area from a management accounting perspective, but that critical need from a skill perspective to be so comfortable on the technology side. And I'm going to tell me if I'm wrong here, right? But I think there'll come a point when technical competency will be a given, an expectation that everyone should have in their finance function, right? In a certain role. But then where you need to kind of excel and you're going to differentiate yourself to move on is those business enabling, partnering, business understanding, business skills, right? And the technology skills. Is that fair?
Right. Yes, Aziz, that's absolutely fair. You hit the nail, because see, it's like something as simple as this. Today, nobody puts in their resume that they know how to work on Microsoft Excel. Right? It's expected. Nobody is going to judge you on whether that's not a bonus point. That's not a brownie point. Not can you say that I know how to work on Tally. These are all gone now. So you have to move beyond. You have to think beyond. You have to look at the bigger picture and then break it down, of course, to how it applies to your area.
Absolutely. And before I move on, if there's anyone else who's got any thoughts on that particular area, but I would just again re-emphasize why I've been very fortunate to work around.
One quick thing, I completely agree with Amrita. I think again, when people like me started, knowing Excel used to be a big deal. I used to put that in my resume, Amrita, when I started. But today it is
Right,
given,
I've done
right?
that too.
my son is in grade 6. He already knows how to play with Excel. So that is all given. So all these things will become pretty much given over a period of time. Technology will be considered as granted for sure. I totally agree.
Yeah, and again, the advice to the participants here today is, look, one, the CMA qualification is just within a year, 18 months ago, had a quite a significant change in direction to kind of incorporate a lot of these, evolve the technology, data analytics side, very much up to date, and a lot of information about the future of accounting comes from the IMA and other organizations who are here as well. So make sure that you're part of that ecosystem and you're getting to understand what those future trends are, because that's going to be critical for your careers.
Okay, Aziz, I have a comment to make here for the aspiring finance professional. So I would want to state what my mentor told me, once. She told me that hire candidates who are relevant not just for today, but who are going to be relevant 2-3 years down the line. So which means that we have to continuously adapt and look forward and get equipped to what is going to be the future, right? So I definitely wanted to give this piece of message to the young professionals here.
Wonderful, thank you. That's a great message, and I'm sure people are getting some really good thoughts from today as well. It's the whole point. And Priya, over to you now. Anyway, with EA, it's all in the game with EA. So I mean, what I'm hearing, and this is not just in India but globally, qualified management accountants, professionals are having, their careers are able to become, wider, faster, deeper across the globe. And it would be great to kind of get your thoughts, given your position as director of the finance operations at EA. And I know that you've been recently engaging with your employees with the CMA qualification. What's been the interest level from staff, and how, more importantly than that, believe it or not, from my perspective, is what has been the benefit of EA when you've been kind of invested quite significant amounts, I'm sure, to support your staff? What's the reason behind it? What value you're hoping to get from it?
Sure, Aziz, thank you for those questions. And I thought that each of the questions that you had asked were, led to the other questions, and it had a flow. So thank you again for this. And yeah, I would like to first start, as you rightly said, as to why it's so important for EA, for sponsoring education for its employees. So EA as an organization is very committed to creating a lot of learning opportunities for their employees. So every organization wants to have a differentiator, right? And I would say EA's differentiator is it's very happy to invest in its employees for its personal and professional development. How relevant will they be for the future? And in fact, my CAO, the Chief Accounting Officer, will be very happy if I overspend the training budget for my employees. He will definitely be mad at me if I'm going to save him some money on the training budget. So that is how EA stands for. And I'm deeply proud about this fact, because I joined EA about 2.5 years back, and I love the fact that how it enables people to get really equipped for the job. So there's one thing, we don't essentially believe that a professional qualification is a prerequisite for a job. But what we definitely believe is every conversation that we have with an employee is balanced with what we expect from them, plus what they want also as a learning opportunity, right? So that's what we want to balance. And that's why we want to do this for employees who are interested and, would like to continue their journey with us and know more and learn more. So that's the commitment we want. And obviously we have a budget, right? I have a 120 member team, and I would not be able to sponsor everyone in a year. So we choose about 8 to 10 employees a year. And CMA is one of the, very, niche courses that people subscribe to here. We started this journey in 2016. And, in the first year we launched, we were excited. We wanted to have a big thrust, and, so about 20 people subscribed. We said yes to all of them. But what happened is people committed without realizing whether they would be able to complete it, right? So we learned from our mistakes, and then we re-evolved. and later launched this program 2 years back. And ever since, we've been careful in making the selection, having a good conversation, having an application process where employees apply for it, and then make sure they have the time commitment and the interest and matches with what they want to achieve or grow in their role, right? So the needs, the aspirations, everything match, then we are sure that they are going to complete the course as well. And it matches with what they want to aspire in their career and grow with EA. So we have learned from our mistakes and we've evolved, and we have about 16 qualifications that we sponsor for our employees. And as I said, CMA is one that's many employees aspire for. I'll tell you in a minute why it is so. But we sponsor not only for the exam fees or the training fees, but also sometimes the cost of travel. So that's a wholesome package that definitely EA does. And coming to YCMA, we have a big team of FP&A professionals, finance planning and analysis. And I'm just going to echo what others talked about, right? Real-time business partnering, salesperson. We are not just finance or we have to be very accurate in forecasting. We have to tell them real numbers for decision makers to make the right decisions on revenue, right? We are going to help revenue grow. We are not just going to report revenue. We are going to help revenue grow. We are going to control costs. So we are ideally truly business partners. So if I have to have my FP&A professionals qualified to be business partners for regions across the globe for core operations like game development, etc., I need people, to be equipped with the relevant skills. And that's why CMA has been, one of the choicest courses for us.
Thank you. Thanks so much for that. And, I think how you just described that, it's great to see organizations put that level of investment into their personnel and staff. And I think obviously everyone at EA is very fortunate. And I think most of the organizations that are being represented here today, put that level of focus on their teams clearly by what we're hearing. And I'm glad that these type of qualifications are really giving more than just producing good accountants, right? As we've talked about here, these are high quality finance professionals that are going to be leading the organization. Are there any other thoughts in terms of that final question from the other panelists? I'm conscious that one of our panelists has got to leave very shortly. And I did have one question for the group as a whole. Again, a final question, just final thoughts for our audience here. And I'll start with you, Jay, as your response to this question first, because I know you've got to leave. But it's a simple, straightforward question. What advice would you give to our aspiring young audience today as they prepare for a career ahead, which will most likely take off, in the critical economic circumstances that we're in? But any thoughts, guidance to our audience today?
Yeah, sure, Ajit. I think this will be purely basis my own personal experience as I did my professional journey. I did take quite a bit of risk in my career on changing career track from, let's say, mechanical engineering to finance to core accounting to more controllership kind of a job. And what has really helped me always is to keep an open mind. I think the moment you keep your open mind, trust me, learning comes naturally. And we are always learning, either consciously or subconsciously. I think my advice would be that please keep an open mind and never stop learning. I think that's a never-ending journey. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for being here today as well, Jay. Really appreciate
Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you, everyone. All the best. Please take care. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Who shall I call on now? Miss Sandhya, your kind of thoughts, message to the group.
Yes, I would say look for attitude development, because skill is something which can be taught, but skill is for a finite problem. You have a problem, you know the solution, that is what is skill. Attitude is something which is difficult to develop very quickly, I would say. And I would say for all the aspiring candidates, focus on attitude. This will take you to places. You don't know technology. If you have an attitude of learning, asking for help, you can ask anyone for help and go ahead. But for me, it is one line: always develop a good, positive attitude. that should help. Thank you.
Thank you. It's worked for you clearly, and I'm sure it's worked for all of our panelists as well. So never lose sight of that. That's always going to be the differentiator for sure. Miss Amrita.
So what I would say is, of course, as Sandhya mentioned, attitude is what, when we are interviewing people, that's of course the most important thing, because you're going to look at a person and not really gauge or judge his technical or technological skills in that half-an-hour chat that you have, but it is of course the attitude and the presentation, the communication that matters a lot. Apart from that, I would say that plan your career, think ahead, see where you want to see yourself 10 years from now, then break it down and see where you want to look at yourself 5 years, 2 years, tomorrow, and then start working towards that. The other most important thing is, don't throw away your education, use it, build on it, and whatever be your job profile, your education will always add value to your work. And last, and of course not the least, is be open to learn new things. Read, research, talk to your people, talk to peers, talk to seniors. The learning that we get from them, from our seniors, is much, much more than what any book can teach us.
Absolutely. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Priya, ma'am.
Sure, Aziz. I think I echo with everything that's been told earlier. And on learning, the only thing I would want to emphasize is learn from people irrespective of their seniority, right? I mean, you could learn from a junior person, you could learn from your security guard. I mean, just be open to learning. That's my, humble request. And the second thing is, change is the only constant. So the more you're able to adapt to change, the better you are. And when I have my first interaction with someone who's newly joined my organization, the first comfort I give them is challenge the status quo. Don't be afraid to ask questions. And, if someone tells that this has been done for 10 years and you don't agree with it, challenge in a proper manner. And the third thing that I would, want to tell the young professional folks who always want a change, right? They are, very impatient. In a good way, I would say, is be patient with your careers. I don't expect you to join and leave the same company, but meaning rather than quick money, make sure what you want in life, as what, we just heard, what you want in life, and make your career options very clearly, right? And you have to enjoy every day at work. So good luck to all of you on this call.
Lovely, lovely point. Love that point. So I suppose that let's talk to the risk management side of your careers. Ranga sir, what's your thoughts to inspire our participants today?
Yeah, I would go with what everyone said, and would just like to add a few points. Like any qualification, a professional qualification, is only a gate for you to secure an entry into an organization or a career that you want to choose. I think the day you join the company or the organization, that's the day you are born. I think you have to reduce all your previous age and say that today is 0. From now you go on. So from that day, you have to keep on looking at all places across and learn everything that you can grasp. Of course, you have to be more careful and be more focused on what you are currently doing, because what you learn should be more relevant to a job as a whole. And apart from the job, you have to learn the art of living. That's extremely important. How to survive in this world is very important. While the objective is not to disturb others' existence, but you have to grow. So you have to grow in a very positive manner towards that. I think what Sandhya said and what Amrita said and what Priya said, everyone, what they said makes sense, because it's extremely important for you to be agile and dynamic and take what the life has to offer you. So please learn on an everyday basis. Every person whom you come across in your life is they are going to teach you something. Try to be try to upskill your listening skills and your observing skills. As a risk manager, these two are extremely important. I think I would wish everyone a very happy life and great learning and a great career ahead.
Fantastic. Thanks so much. They're very, very kind very, very thoughtful message to close with there. Well, I'm not going to close it there because I want to make sure that Shripal sir, if you're there, it'd be great to get your thoughts on this as well. And I'll bring in one of our team from the IMA as well to give their thoughts as well.
I mean, I have listened to the entire panel discussion, and to be honest, all the leaders, when they talk, one thing I notice in them is they always encourage. Their speech is very positive. It's very to the heart, and it's very realistic. I mean, it's not taken up from the papers or something, because they speak from the experience. And that's where I think it adds value. And that was one of the reasons to call the leaders, because they talk from the experience, not from the books. And it's important in your early age, especially students like us. And I actually appeal to other institutions also to involve corporate leaders more, because they share their practical experience and students want to know. And today students don't have that knowledge that how the corporate world is, what are their expectations, what does a leader look like when they hire any of the finance professional. And today with this panel discussion, it is one thing is very clear. Attitude is something which is really important for a professional and a student, and also upskilling yourself with the latest stuff which is happening. I really echo with Priya's words where she said when they are hiring not only for the present thing, but they're also looking for the future skill sets. And if the professional is aware or updated about it. I mean, how many of us knows about the earning transcripts, right? The transcripts which comes up after the company declares the results. So I just want to share one story. When I was being interviewed by Infosys SVP that time, I mean, and when they interviewed me, they asked me to do a comparison between Wipro and Infosys. And previously, first they asked TCS and Infosys, but I just twisted the question to Wipro and Infosys, and I gave my analysis that time. And one question was there, and I just answered that. I said them that cross-currency loss is say X amount. And then the leader asked, how did you get to know about that? I said them that I was watching the management commentary after the results were declared, and that was it. And Infosys just said, okay, we want to hire you, Shripal. And that's how it is. I mean, when the leaders are taking an interview, they really observe what are you tracking about that company? Are you reading your annual report? Are you checking out the numbers? Are you seeing the management commentary? How the company's business is? Because that is something which really interests them, because they know that you are interested in their business. You want to contribute to their vision. And that's what they look for when they're hiring any of the professionals. And I think today's panel discussion is really spot on with all those points. I think I'm really happy, and I'm sure the people who are watching us are really happy with the discussions which are going on the future of finance. That's it from my end, Aziz.
Thank you, sir. Really appreciate it. Someone from the IMA, it'd be great to kind of get your thoughts on that final question in terms of, that guidance to our panel, our aspirants today. Anyone from the IMA? Lata, Ahmed, Benel, Pranesh? Do you want to come in?
Aziz, I would like to add after seeing the questions. And I see that many of them are worried about their careers. Many are worried about their salaries. Of course, because this is the limited view that you have about the world. Yeah, I would say focus on getting better exposure. I understand there can be some people, for them immediately earning money is important, but please don't let that be the priority in life. Ultimately, what matters is, and this is me with 25 years of 20 plus years of experience telling you that what can help you grow as a human being, as a professional, as a better leader is to enjoy what you do every day. I think if you're focusing on salary, whether CPA is better, CMA is better, I have seen people who have all the best degrees and have nowhere to go in life because of attitude. So please focus on being a better human being, being a better professional, being a better leader, rather than just focusing on things. And it may sound like a preaching, but this I'm telling you because I have made all the mistakes. I have made those mistakes. You have a choice. You learn from mine or you make yours. Free to do so. But I have learned it that till you enjoy your journey, nothing will help you. And let me give a personal example. When I bought my first house, I did not buy a parking lot because I never thought I'll be able to buy a car for myself. Now at this age, even if I buy a property, it does not give me any happiness because it is just another investment. And I feel bad about it. I don't feel good about it. I feel bad about it. So please do what you love rather than focusing on things. And especially COVID has taught us life is more precious than running after something which is not giving you happiness. Thanks, Aziz. Sorry, I felt compelling to answer this because I see many of us falling for it, and which is not very good. We have learned from our experiences, but I felt like sharing. Thanks.
No, Sandhya, thanks so much for that. I mean, there's been so much wisdom in the last hour, and I think that's the most fitting way to kind of end this kind of Q&A session with that.
Aziz, we have one from the student crowd, Prakash. I think he's working with electronic arts. So just raised hand. So I think he wants to talk. Prakash, I've just unmuted you. If you would like to go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for giving this opportunity. Hi all, this is Prakash Sinha. So I've been a CPA aspirant at Simandhar Education for the past 1 year. I recently had this opportunity to work at this amazing firm, Electronic Arts. Definitely a great experience with the organization so far. Thanks Simandhar and Becker Professional Education for organizing such an amazing session. Of course, it has been a lot of learning, but to mention few, my key takeaways out of this session are, to the finance professionals are adaptability to change. So basically, any finance professional, should be ready for change. Nowadays I see roles for techno-functional financial analysts who are really good at technology, who are really good at finance. Having expertise into reporting tools like Tableau, Power BI. It's more of visualization driven nowadays. And the second key takeaway is implementation and reliance on technology. Post-COVID world, we did not have an opportunity to connect with individuals in person. So there's always a reliance on technology. And finance has now has become a real-time finance function. You have to report the numbers real-time to the management. And my last takeaway is RPA, which is automation of processes, which definitely saves time and just add value, and also to be a real-time business partner. So if I could leave you with one thought, as stated by Richard Branson, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, say yes first and learn it later. Thank you so much.
Thanks,
just to answer the query, really amazing session from everyone. We learned a lot from all, and all your points are very valid. Especially, we face these kind of questions from the student fraternity, even professional fraternity. Maybe just to add two thoughts from me, take responsibility of your own life. I've seen people complain about situation challenges, but I would say take your own responsibility of your life and think about what you can do things better, and face all challenges or what you face in your life with a smile. That's what I would like to add. Thank you.
Brilliant. And that echoes that word attitude, which I think I want everyone to write that down, put it in front of their desks, because that's what's going to make the difference. And you've got your careers are 40, 50 years long. So you've got to make sure that you enjoy them to get the best out of it, right? 5, 10 years, decisions, those type of things. As Ms. Sandhya said, sometimes we've got to take decisions which we don't always want to do, but please always think about the length of your career, and the fact that you're going to be doing this every day, right? If you don't enjoy it, it'll come out in some way or another, and you'll find that people who are successful in their careers are those who have got the right motivations and really want to learn, understand, and enjoy the work that they do. So please, whatever you do from today onwards, you make sure that you think about it. You've got great people all around here. What you've heard today, I'm sure you've got other mentors and coaches to talk to them, get good advice, get good counseling, and make good informed decisions which are going to really impact your careers positively. I think that's it. One other message I would give is, unlike me, please be a bit more careful in terms of managing the time. I think I've run over time by about 10-15 minutes, but I could not stop anyone from talking today because we have learned so much. I've learned so much, as always. But I think that's it from our panel for now, I believe. Once again, Sandhya, Priya, Amrita, Ranga, and of course, Jay, who's no longer with us. Thank you so much for your time, your energy, and great advice and guidance today. Miss Priya, I presume that Prakash now is going to get a promotion.
We will talk separately, Prakash.
I'll leave it to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Aziz, for organizing.
Thank you for the
and
opportunity.
being a great moderator and ensuring you're asking the right questions. I could see a lot of good comments from the participants. Thank you, Aziz, being a great moderator for this session.
It's my pleasure.
Thank you, Aziz. Thank you,
Thank
Fenel.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you all. Bye.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Not everyone. I mean, we are still continuing the session. Only the panel discussion got over.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Richa, is it back to you?
Yep. Yeah. Thank you, Aziz.
That iPad questions.
Yeah. So again, we'll start with our MCQs. First of all, I would like to thank all our panelists for sharing their enriching experience with us. Thank you so much. And now moving ahead, we'll again move to our iPad questions. Okay. Yep. Okay. So this is the first question for round second. An investment decision is acceptable if the option 1, net present value is greater than or equal to 0. Present value of cash inflows is less than the present value of cash outflows. Present value of cash outflow is greater than or equal to 0. And the fourth one is present value of cash inflow is greater than or equal to $0. And the time starts now. And you have 10 seconds to answer the question.
This also looks an easy question. That's why there's so many responses. Again.
Okay, so the answer is net present value is greater than or equal to 0. The next question is, all the following needs to be considered in determining cash inflows from capital investment except: first, proceeds from financing; second, reduction in working capital; third, cash saving on regular expenses; fourth, salvage value of old machine. Okay, so now the time is up and the answer is proceeds from financing. The last one for this section is a company that prides itself on its innovation, revives an existing popular brand without conducting sufficient market research. By taking this decision, the company exposed itself to what type of risk? First, credit risk and strategic risk. Second, hazard risk and credit risk. Third, operational risk and hazard risk. Fourth, strategic risk and operational risk. I will give 2 seconds extra to read the question. So you have 2 seconds extra for this question.
I see some of them are answering 2-3 options. Please don't do that, guys. There's only one option which we can do.
Yes. Okay, so the answer is strategic risk and operational risk.
Many of them got this wrong. Okay, next.
Should I ask all the questions right now?
No.
No. There are 3 more questions. Please don't do it.
Yep. So we have 3 more questions.
Adil, and then the last final 3 questions we'll put it up after our IMA thing. Okay.
Right. So we have more 3 questions, everyone. So please be with us till the end to win an iPad. Okay. So now moving ahead, we have 2 of our CMA students, 𝐀𝐻EMA Bindu and Adil, who 𝐀𝐻EMA is a qualified CMA from Simandhar Education and currently working with Virtusa as financial specialist. And so can we have 𝐀𝐻EMA and 𝐀𝐻EMA to share her experience on CMA qualification with Simandhar Education and her working experience after her qualification.
Hi everybody. So this is my name is 𝐀𝐻EMA Bindu.
Can you go on a video mode?
Yeah, just give me a second, please. Yeah.
Adil as well.
So it has actually been a great experience joining such esteemed organization as soon as I qualify CMA. I should be thankful to Shripal sir for encouraging me to join this course and complete it within the duration. So coming on to my experience with Virtusa, I am a part of core finance team related to revenue or recognition. So basically it's all to do with ASC 606. So reading of the contracts, understanding them, bifurcating the type of projects and revenue recognition. As all the panelists mentioned, the current technological change which we are having right now in the organization is we have migrated to Fusion of Oracle, so which is giving the leaders real-time numbers wherever required, so that all the decisions can be taken promptly, let it be regarding to the efforts or numbers. So it has been in the short duration where I joined the organization, I am able to learn a lot of things, because as a course, CMA not only is inculcating what a financial accountant should have, but it is also focusing on technical aspects which are required in the current corporate world. Let it be quantitative aptitude or quantitative techniques, which we have to know irrespective of which role we are going to take up after qualification. So it's been a great journey so far with the organization, and I would look forward to.
I think her network is lost. Richa,
Okay, so yeah. So she is back. Yep.
Yeah, so I guess there was a network issue, sorry. So it has been a great experience so far, and I'm always thankful to Becker, IMA and Simandhar.
Thank you, 𝐀𝐻EMA.
Thank you, 𝐀𝐻EMA, for sharing your experience. Now we have Adil with us, who is also a qualified CMA and working with Invesco as tax consultant. Adil, over to you.
Yeah. Hi, Richa. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shripal sir, for this amazing opportunity. Am I audible? Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks a lot. And myself, Adil Ayub, and I'm a tax analyst in Invesco. And I got placed in Invesco in Jan 2020 on a contract role. Now I have become permanent. And thanks to CMA US and Simandhar Education and the Becker Professional Education, without which it wouldn't be possible. So I cracked both my parts in Jan-Feb window in 2019. And then through Simandhar Education, I was directed to Invesco. And I was able to crack the interview under the continuous guidance and priceless efforts of Simandhar Education. So because for a finance professional like me, especially during the start of a career, it is not only important to get a job, but to get the job in the right job profile. So that is something which is very crucial during the start of a career. So even I was also very much bothered about that. So right now I basically deal with taxation. But again, when I say taxation, there might be questions: is it really related to CMA US or not? But if I would further, elaborate on that, we basically deal with variance commentaries. We used to look at tax leakages, trend analysis. All this comes from a performance measurement point of view. Without CMA USA, all this wouldn't be possible. So right now I have a better control over the process. I would say I have a better analysis. When I say better analysis, I would prefer to say it on a different dimension. So on a different level. So the thought process was right after I have completed the CMA USA. Although the CMA US is not an end in itself, I know there are still a long way for me to go, and I'm just on the second year of my career. So thanks a lot, Simandhar. Thanks a lot, Sripal sir, and thanks a lot, Becker, for where I am today. I'm literally living my dream today. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Adil and Ima. To know that CMA actually helped you in your career, and it's a great effort of Simandhar Education. Even trained you, support you, even in the training part as well as in your career journey. Thank you, Simandhar Education as well.
Thank you, Adil. Thank you, Hima.
Yeah, thank you, Adil. Thank you, Hima, for sharing an experience. Now, I would like to invite panel to share an insight on the importance of CMA qualification, role of IMA, Becker and Simandhar Education.
Thank you, Richa. Ahmed was supposed to be part of it. He is facing some electrical and network issue in the country where he is right now. So I'm taking over that profile as well. So once again, thank you very much, Simandhar Education, Becker, and we together organized it, and all the people from the team. It's amazing journey. I mean, it's amazing work. Thank you all participants to be part of this event. I'm sure you learned a lot from the industry experts. So my role to give you a little more insights on IMA and CMA certification. So IMA is a 100-year-old professional body headquartered in New Jersey, USA. Now we spread across 150 countries with around 140,000 members. As a professional body, we are the responsible body for certified management accountant credential. We are into continuous education, networking, research, and we stand as the highest ethical standard, in the business. We spread across, apart from these 10 global offices, we do have 300 chapters. So why I meant to mention it here, this is a question sometimes people ask, okay, I've completed my CMA, what after that? So these chapters organize a lot of events, which is a platform for members to learn from each other, upgrade their knowledge, and our membership opportunity also give you a lot of free courses, free webinars, and different platforms to upgrade and update your knowledge. And we are a professional body who do the right research in the market, create the right syllabus, and which help you, and we test you. So the hard work of helping grading and training is done by our partners, and great to see Simandhar is doing a great support for our CMA candidates to pursue the certification and grow in or progress in the certification. Now the question comes back to us. We already mentioned, or we already spoke about this topic in our panel discussion. What's the role of a management accountant? We all traditionally know about the accountant jobs, which again we discussed in the panel. Whereas the management accountants are more finance and accounting professionals who create value for the organization and work as strategic business partners. That Rangarajan was mentioning the same point earlier. We know what was the role. Now, if an accountant looks at what happened in the past, a role of a management accountant is looking forward. He is the one who helped organization coming with the right support, decision making, helping organization in managing risk, performance measurement, decision analysis, and strategic decision making. So in a way, if you look at you have management accounting and public accounting. Public accounting is the terminology which we use in US. Now, you need both professionals in the industry. Like if someone is interested more in audit, tax assurance, compliance, or more into valuation, definitely you can look at a certification in the field of public accounting. But if you are someone who's interested more in developing, implementing, managing, reporting, or more into value creation, or you want to be a decision maker yourself, CMA is one of the professional qualifications which can help you to reach that levels. Now, according to our CMAs, like the people who completed CMA, 80% of people feels that their certification enhances their ability to move across areas of business. So being a management accountant, you're not restricted to only accounting domain. You can work in accounting, finance, operations, IT, and even in the senior executive levels. So as a qualification, when you complete CMA, we discussed about it, management accountants move more as a decision makers. So CMA is a qualification which can help you to achieve your career goal. Now, another question which I always face, especially from the student fraternity, parents fraternity, or even from the academicians, why should somebody do professional qualification? So one of the reasons I always say is you need to learn something which is relevant and which is what you're going to use in the near future. Every 5 to 6 years, IMA go around the globe and ask the employers and the decision makers what kind of skill set you're expecting in your finance and management accounting domain. And we call this process as job analysis study. And based on these job analysis study, we create something called IMA Management Accounting Competency Framework. So these are the skills which a finance industry or a CFO or a finance leader is looking at from the people who are joining within the industry. And what are these skills? Which is strategy, planning, performance, reporting, control, business acumen and operation, technology and analytics. Now we are all talking about technology and analytics. Again, this is one of the important factors. Professional ethics and values. Nowadays, we know we are in the global world and we need to follow this. And finally, it is centered with leadership skills. Now, the interesting side, if you look at the CMA certification and the membership benefit which you get as part of IMA membership, we cover all these as part of the certification and membership. So when you look at CMA, it's a 2-part exam. Don't think that it's just 2 exams. It's a 2-part exam. Each part consists of 6 + 6 core practice areas of management accounting. So part 1, financial planning, performance and analytics, and part 2, strategic financial management. I'm not going in depth of this. Maybe Sripal might add on a few points from there later on. But just to give you an overall perspective, we cover external financial reporting decision, planning, budgeting, forecasting, performance management, cost management, internal controls, technology and analytics, financial statement analysis, corporate finance, decision analysis, risk management, investment decisions, and professional professional ethics. Now, you might think that I'm learning some of these topics as part of my graduation and post-graduation. But the difference here, the level IMA testing, because you learn all these topics sometimes as part of your graduation or post-graduation, but what you learn is all more from a level A perspective, which is knowledge and comprehension, where we test candidate up to level C, which is a combination of application, analysis, evaluation, and synthesis. So this is the learning pattern, the learning change, which is need to happen in the professional as well as student community who would like to join and start doing CMA program. So I've seen sometimes students with even 60+% who got their near 12th and graduation doing CMA one side. On the other side, I've seen people with 85 to 95%. They sometimes fail in the first attempt. So it is not about by hearting things and reproducing in your papers here. It's all about how in what format you learn. Because we test your application analysis. It's more concept testing. So you need to really understand when you prepare for CMA, each topic you need to understand the concept and application behind it. And if you prepare in that way, CMA is going to be one interesting topic which you can learn. This is one question which I ask people: how you found CMA? Some people say yes, it was a difficult certification, but we cracked it. Some people say, yeah, we learned and we could practice that really well in our organizations. Now, these exams, 4 hours exam, 100 multiple choice question and 2 essay question. The interesting side is you can fix your examination date. The exams happen in Jan, Feb, May, June, September, October, and you can fix your exam date. And you can write exams across the world, the prometric centers, and the same exam, there is no difference. Here you have a flexibility to write part 1 or part 2 first, and you can write both parts together in case if you want to be a distinguished award winner, write both parts together and score high. There is a possibility to get special awards from IMA. In order to become to call yourself as a certified management accountant, you need to complete 2 exams, which we already discussed. You need to be a graduate from any stream, whereas you can even start preparing for your CMA while you're doing your graduation. You need to acquire 2 years of relevant experience. I see a lot of questions related to that. This experience can be prior, after, or while doing the CMA certification. So like, for example, we have seen people like fresh graduates doing CMA. On the same time, we have seen people with 45 and plus, still look at CMA as a certification for their career progression. And an active membership. The interesting side, 34% of people who completed CMA certification, they work as CFOs, CEOs, and controllers. 22% of them work as directors, managers. 33% of them work as management accountants, cost accountants, financial analysts, business analysts, risk analysts, investment analysts. So I would say someone who with 3 to 6 years of experience, they work in these profile, and you see the kind of movement which happens in their career, and where you see 34% of people are decision makers themselves in the organization. So we discussed about IMA support via the entire IMA management accounting competency framework. We provide that through the certification as well as our IMA membership benefits. So we provide a lot of free webinars, CPE courses, chapter events, which we include many topics which is relevant for the industry. IMA Leadership Academy, these are all which comes along with you as part of IMA membership benefit. So I would like to close it here and hand it over to Sripal to talk more about the training delivery and the materials, how that helps students in clearing CMA much faster. Thank you. Over to you, Sripal.
Thank you so much, Fenil, and thank you everyone who have joined in the session. So before I start off with what Simandhar is doing, I mean, there are a lot of things Simandhar does, but before that, I have seen several questions which have come up in the chat window where why should one do CMA? And I think that is the first question. Normally, I tell my team also when they are trying to talk to students or try to guide them or enroll them. And the first question is, why do you need to do US CMA? And what is US CMA, right? Like we have in India, the Indian cost accountancy, the US cost accountants are known as US CMAs. Now, there is a problem here is one is CMA UK, then you have CMA Australia, then you have CMA Australia, CMA Canada and all, and now you have US CMA. Why US CMA? The answer is very simple. As you know, there are a lot of US companies in India, right? And I haven't seen a lot of UK companies in India currently. As far as I see the US companies. So already we saw the panel who are there, Electronic Arts, Infosys, and all these companies. They're all US based companies, like Infi is listed in NASDAQ. Then you had HPE, which also is giving internship opportunities to US CMA aspirants. We saw before Adil, I think Gokul have done internship from HPE and then got a full-time offer from Pega. And these are the US companies which are there in India who are, and after the relationship with China, right? So the US companies are expanding more, their shared services is coming more. And you might have seen Sandhya talking more about it from Skindler, that she also is trying to set up a big shared service center here, like SAP India have done. So a lot of US companies are there in India, and that's what makes US CMA attractive, both in terms of job opportunities, but also in terms of the sheer content which US CMA is testing is more on technology. It's more futuristic. It's more appealing to the corporates today, right? When we compare it to our Indian qualifications, definitely I'll have to be really honest that that kind of opportunities might not be there. But yes, as a standalone international qualification, I think US CMA is really great qualification. And again, people who want to make their careers in financial planning and analysis, in decision making, in cost control. So business finance is your profile. All the CMA candidates who are listening to me, right? So this is one profile which you need to target on, because you are much closer to the business. And that's why I think that CMAs have more chances of becoming a CFO in an organization than a CPA, because CPAs are more involved in audit, tax and all. CMAs are majorly involved in the MIS, which is Management Information System, the reporting. They are much closer to the CFO, and that's what makes them little different from other qualifications. CPA and plus CMA, I think that is more than big enough. But again, as a standalone qualification, definitely yes. The third question which was put up in the chat window was, what is the ideal salary one looks for after CMA? Again, don't want to be a little different on this like other organizations. We want to be very transparent. The ideal starting salary for US CMA somewhere ranges from 5 lakhs to 6 lakhs per annum. That is what you really kind of get it as an entry level. But again, that should not be your base for joining any company, right? Profile is something which you need to target on. And I think after CMA, that is definitely there as a good qualification, have a good profile. Like we had in Hima's case, she was put into revenue recognition, more into contract reviews. Like we had in Adil's case, it's more to do with tax analysis and all. In case of Gokul, who have not joined in today because of the shifts, but he is also having the similar profiles of FP&A and all. And again, there are rigorous interviews. It's not so easy to get into financial planning and analysis profile. But once you get into, I think it has a great future. And that's what we look for when you're trying to do with CMA kind of qualification, right? I'll just share the screen and talk about what are we doing in CMA, right? Apart from our Simandhar live classes, which we give on every weekend, we have the Becker's product. As you know, Becker is, I think, one of the best organizations to prepare, and they are the group of Adultum, right? It's a listed company in US, drawing over $2 billion in revenue, right? With the content, the way they have prepared the product is really amazing. So as I discussed previously, also some of the candidates who have attended my previous webinar, we have spoken about the artificial intelligence technology being adopted by Becker, right? In their way they test the students, right? So if you see that there are only 2 parts in CMA, not so big like other qualifications, you just need to clear 2 sections and you're done with it. So is it so easy? Again, just want to be transparent. It looks like 2 sections, but again, it's a mountain in itself, right? And you need to score a minimum of 75% to 72% to pass the exam. And then you have 2 essays, right? I mean, 75% is multiple choice and 25% is essays. Compared to other qualifications which are more paper based, this is a computerized exam, right? This is how the software, when you access it, you get 2 mock exams which actually mirrorizes the IMA pattern. So mock exam 1 and mock exam 2 looks like the similar IMA exam pattern, though not the same questions which will be asked, obviously, but the way they test is much similar to what you get in the real exam atmosphere. And that's how the product is, right? So these are the 2 things which we give. Apart from our live classes, our Telegram groups, our study groups to clear your questions and answers, you have in every part, you have a chapter. Under chapter, every module is there. Under that module, you have the lecture videos, you have the MCQs, you have the essays to prepare, right? So these are certain things. Then we have something called as personalized review session, which I was talking about. So this is being acquired by Becker for $150 million, which is nothing but the Sana Labs technology, which actually tests the student skills, right? So if you are very weaker in say M1, you got 1 star, M2, you got 3 star, M3, you got 2 stars, and M4, you got 1 star. So that means what Sripal is very weak in revenue recognition, is very good in say liabilities and all. So what this software does is it actually analyzes what is Sripal's weaker areas and throws MCQs or throws a question on those weaker areas. So it's kind of machine learning, where machine is learning your behavior on how you're answering each and every module and their questions in it. And that's how it analyzes and gives a personalized test. And this is something which I really liked in the product, which really will help the students. Apart from that, you have the flashcards, which are nothing but your quiz cards, where you can keep practicing it. If you have any doubts, you're traveling somewhere, you can install it as an app and you can practice those flashcards as well, right? And then you have the essays and all to prepare. There are only two parts in CMA, as you might have seen where Fenil was describing about the content, and much more similar, or I would say coincide with CPA, because in CMA also you have external financial reporting, which is nothing but financial accounting reporting of CPA. So one who is doing US CMA might have already done half CPA. Again, there are no exemptions whatsoever. A CMA should do CPA all 4 sections, or in fact, all the US qualifications like CMA or CPA doesn't have any exemptions. So CPA, even if you're a chartered accountant or if you're a ICW or whatever it is, right, you will need to write the 2 parts of US CMA or 4 parts of all CPA. There is no exemption. Previously, there was an MOU between ICAAI and IMA, but now that MOU is no longer there. All the people who have passed the Indian cost accountancy will have to undergo the US CMA, both the parts. So they can't skip any of the parts. I think Fenil is there here who can let us know about that MOU, which is there right now, or is it like, so Fenil, is it still, are we on the discussions with the ICAAI team, or how is it like?
Sripal, no, this MOU comes to a halt, so there is no MOU right now. And see, on the same time, we look at everyone need to write both part exams, whether you are a graduate, whether you are a CFO, whether you are with 15 or 20 years of experience. IMA is very particular on that. We need to make sure the students are tested and certified. So now there is no exemption given to anyone from IMA side.
Okay, thank you, Fenil. Thanks for that. So guys, this is about, I think, a brief about what we are doing as per Simandhar. So there are tons of things which we do. We have one-to-one mentoring sessions. We have Telegram groups where we keep each and every day multiple choice questions. A person like me is there in the group. If someone else is not answering, 24/7, I am available to answer that in the Telegram window to clarify some of the questions or the doubts. We have our live lectures which are going on Saturday and Sunday, and then we record that so that you can check the recorded videos also of us. Apart from that, you have lecture videos of Becker as well. So you have a choice. You have too many resources to pass the exam. End of the day, what matters is, do you have that kind of mindset to excel in it or not? We also have our something called as Simandhar Engagement Council, where you can participate in our student activities, learn the new skill sets and all. We do prepare monthly newsletters. We organize a lot of sessions. So these are certain things which we keep doing apart from just passing the exam. I think the overall personality development is a very, very important skill set. And that is where our major focus is. And that's how we are different, or I would say little differentiation strategy is with Simandhar Education. And that's it from me, Richa and Finn. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Fenil. Yeah.
I think we can open up for questions if anyone have in the chat window. I and Fenil can take up if people have any questions on US CMA or anything like that. You can please put in the Zoom chat. I can pick it up, or you can raise your hands. Some of them we can unmute you, and I mean we can answer those queries as well.
Yes, sir. So meanwhile, can we complete that 3-4 questions and then we can take up the...
Yeah.
Okay.
Winners will be announced later. Am I right, Sripal?
Yes. After the webinar, I think we'll have a photo posted on the social media.
Okay.
So is everyone ready? I mean, I just want to see in the chat window. Last 3 questions. Zoom chat. Everyone ready? Because I'm not seeing any answers. Okay, so there are a lot of hidden gems there. We're waiting for those last 3 answers.
Yeah.
Yeah. What? Wait.
Okay. Okay. So the first question of our last segment is, which one of the following item could be identified on the cash flow statement prepared using the indirect method? First, the payment of interest expense of $200,000. Second, a change in unrealized holding gain of $50,000. Third, a settlement of lawsuit that was previously accrued for depreciation related to building and equipment. Everyone, please do mention the question number as well, so it will be easy for us to track the answer. Okay, so the answer is depreciation related to buildings and equipment. The second question is, when implementing a continuous enterprise risk management, what steps should an organization take first? First, control previously identified risks, establish a risk management budget. Third, establish its strategy and objectives. Fourth, monitor and communicate results. I think this is the easiest question in all. Okay.
I got 308 answers.
Everyone, please mention the question number because we are getting a lot of answers. So the answer is establish its strategy and objectives. So the third question is, the capital investment project include proposal for all the following except: first, the acquisition of government mandated pollution control equipment. Second, the expansion of existing product offerings. Third, additional research and development facilities. Fourth, refinancing existing working capital agreement. Okay, so the answer for this question is option 4, refinancing existing working capital agreement. And to everyone, there is one surprise question, which is 10th question for everyone. So the question is from our panel discussion. The question is, what all the leaders look in a candidate other than a technical and a professional skill? So the answer is very easy and repeatedly.
I think others have given
yes.
the first one, if I'm not wrong. That was the first one who have typed.
Yep. Yes.
So everyone attentive because everyone have answered that correct.
Yes. So the correct answer is attitude or positive attitude towards the Yeah. Now I would like Shripal sir to have some closing comments.
Okay, I think many of them have got that answers right. It will be a tough thing for us after the Zoom because we have noted down each and everything. So stay tuned for the winner. We'll be announcing on LinkedIn and tagging him with the pick. Somehow I get that feeling that it will be a female professional, but again, I mean, I have not seen the answers, guys. So please don't don't think that I'm telling wrong or something like that. And once again, thank you so much. It was an amazing time with you all for being there for the entire 2 hours. It's not an easy thing to be in the webinar for almost 2 hours. So thank you so much for all the attendees who were there till the end of the session. Thank you, Fennel. Thank you, Aziz. Thank you, Lata. Thank you, Ranga sir, who's there with us till now and encouraging each and every one. Thank you to our other Simandhar advocates who were there in that session, who were guiding and answering that, our counselors, Shivani, Kaivalya, and our students, Adil, our CMA alumni, Adil and Hima. Once again, thank you so much. Aziz or Fennel, would you like to add on something before we close this?
Definitely. Thank you once again, Sripal, and all participants to be part of this session. Waiting, I could see even 85 plus participants still there in the the webinar. We have seen a lot of questions. I was trying to answer a few questions from my end. Maybe, Sripal can, or, from Simandhar, someone can note down all these questions and maybe reach out to them one-to-one later after, and this can help them. Unfortunately, I don't think we have enough time to answer all the questions. But great event, great participation. It's a great panel, I would say. Aziz done a great work. Sripal, amazing work. I never seen such a great event in the especially in this pandemic time. So great work. That's what I would like to add it from my end. Thank you, Pranesh, Lata from IMA. Ahmed could not join. He texted me. He was facing some problem. He was there in between for some time, but he could not continue. And thank you, Richa, Sakti, everyone for the support. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just, thank yous to everyone, as everyone's mentioned. And I just in particular like to thank, I think, the people behind the scenes who put this event together, Sripal. I know so many people from the Simandhar team and from the IMA team who've got such a great number of participants throughout the day, great set of panelists who are so engaged. And there's a lot of hard work that's gone into this. The whole of LinkedIn is talking about this event, and that takes a lot of effort as well from everyone as well. So I think everyone behind the scenes have done a fantastic job, and hopefully, there's some very enthusiastic, good attitude participants who are going to be benefiting from the CMA course over the next few months. But thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone, for joining in and giving me an opportunity to be part of this event. Have a great night and take care of yourselves. Thank you.
Stay tuned for the winner who would be declared in, I think, approximately 25 to 30 minutes. Stay tuned on LinkedIn, follow us on Insta, LinkedIn, YouTube, and who all are watching us on YouTube. I have seen several questions being put up in our live YouTube there, and I'm thankful to our counselors who were answering there also. Sorry if I'm not able to take any of the questions. You can always reach out to us or IMA. info@simandhareducation.com, or our mobile number is already there pinned in the comments on the YouTube. So please.
We have a special offer. I just thought of adding before people leaving. We have a special offer which is extended to Simandhar Education. So if those who are interested to join in the next week itself, there is a special offer which is extended. Make use of this offer. It's a very special discounted price to join with IMA. Take this opportunity. We don't have much time. 1 week, 12th to 22nd of June. Over to you, Sripal.
Thank you so much, Sripal, Fenil, Aziz, and Lata. Thank you so much. It is an excellent program to be in. I'm really excited. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you, Raghunajan.
Special thanks to you, sir, for taking out your time and joining us.
Bye.
And special congratulations to Sripal and Simandhar team and Aziz and Becker team. And thank you, Fenil, for giving us all this opportunity. I have learned a lot from this panel discussion, and always it's been a learning experience whenever we organize a panel session. So today's session, really gave us a lot of things to carry as a value add. Thank you so much, and have a fantastic night. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pranesh. Pranesh might be facing the network challenge.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Hal.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Good night.
Good night. Yep.